you got to do. Okay? Yesterday, well, you know, if you like flowcharts, there it is. That's what you did. Okay? I'm not much of an English guy. That's why I kind of am a math teacher. Okay? 3 things in that flowchart. This one's got 5. If you like flowcharts, there you go. Hey, it looks like a 2. See? English is mathematical. Here's what we do. Notice A is not 1 anymore. Okay, we got to complete the square. I want it to look like yesterday's stuff. Okay, yesterday's stuff, there was no 3 there. First step, you remember factor by grouping? That's what you're doing. You're taking that 3 out, not only of the first term, but the second one as well. Okay, so first let's write this, and you don't like f of x, well, write y. It's the same thing. Okay, I'm just going to rewrite it here. Okay, take the 3 out, factor it out, but not only here, out of there as well. Okay? What if you can't? Well, every question we give you, you're going to be able to. Okay? I still have plus 20. Yeah, let's start writing it over there. Okay? Now you got just what you had yesterday. Ignore the 3. Pretend it's not there. How do I complete the square with this? What do I need to add to this for a number to complete the square with the first 3 terms? What did I do? Who wants to tell me? Reese, I hear your mouth going. What you did what? Yeah, okay, so ignore the 3, it's still there, okay? X squared, that's still there. I'm going to go minus 6x, that's still there. Half of this term is 6 over 2 is 3. Square it, add it, subtract it. I got to put my bracket there, and I still have this plus 20. Okay, it's a good idea, just like factoring, check it. Make sure you didn't change this quadratic. You can't change it. It'll make a different shape, right? It's got to be the same thing. Is this the same as this? 3x squared, check. 3 times minus 6x is minus 18x, check. Plus 20, yes it is. Is this the same as this? 3 times x, well there's this, okay. What's plus 9 minus 9? All I did was add 0. That's the same as that, and this is the same. Okay? This is the same as this is the same as this. I didn't change it. It's really important. Now, what do you want to do with these first 3 terms here? You want to complete the square. Okay? You want to put it in vertex form. That's what we're doing. We're converting this to standard or vertex form by, this is what it's called, right? Did you know when you did this in factoring and A wasn't 1, it was called method of decomposition? And then you made it 4 terms and it was, you factor that by grouping. Did you need to know all that stuff? No. You just need to know how to get the answer, right? It's called completing the square. But if it says that on the test, you got to do this, okay? You can't cheat. Because what is the question actually asking us? Does it have a max or a min? What's the value? Can you get the answer to that on your graphing calculator? Yes. Okay, you can cheat. But if it says complete the square and you don't do this, guys, I can't give you the marks. Okay? It's part of the curriculum. It's got to get taught. So I want to complete the square. I still have 3. This is x minus 3 squared. Okay? But now, what do I do with this minus 9? I got to get it out of the brackets. That's just the first 3. Okay? I can't just pull out minus 9 because it's multiplied by this 3. What's 3 times minus 9? That's what that is. I still have plus 20. Okay? So I just got one more step. All right? Collect these 2 numbers. This is 3, sorry. Okay, there's an A now, right? That's not 1, it's 3. x minus 3 squared minus 7. Does that tell us where our minimum or maximum point is? Is that vertex form? Yeah, we want it to look like this, right? Remember? X minus p squared plus q. P, q, that's our vertex, okay? Do I know if it has a max or a min? What shape does this make? Is A positive or negative? It's positive. I know this guy opens up. Okay, what's my vertex? PQ minus, that's P. It's opposite, remember? So that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the negative direction. And it opens up. That's what that thing looks like. Okay? State the value of the minimum. Okay, well that is 3 minus 7. What's my minimum value? When they talk about max or min, they mean the y-coordinate, right? X doesn't make any sense. That's just left or right. Okay, so that's the minimum value. It's a minimum because it opens up, and the value is negative 7. If I want to circle it for the teacher so we can see it in your mess. Okay? Again, could I have done that with a graphing calculator? Sure. Okay? There's a function on there to calculate the minimum. Doesn't say vertex, it says minimum or maximum. You still got to know if it opens up or down, otherwise the calculator will say error. That doesn't make any sense. But if you have one, can you check it? You could still have to do this for full marks, but you could check it with your graphing calculator. Should I do that? All right. You can put in this function. Again, another way to check it. Put in that function. Put in this function. You better only see one parabola in here. Okay? That means you did it right. But let's see. What is the minimum? 3x squared minus 18x plus 20. Graph it. Hopefully my window's okay. Yes, it is. I can see where the minimum is. Second function, calculate. See minimum? Calculate it. Number 3. I want to go left of the minimum. I don't see my cursor. A lot of people get tricky with this. How do I know where it is? I got to find it. How do I know what button to push to find it? You see this? Yeah, it's telling you this thing's at 20. This only goes to 10, so it's way up here somewhere, okay? Is it here or is it here? I'm not too sure, but I got to bring it down. Okay? There it is. Okay? So, I got to go left of the minimum. That's left of the minimum. I got to go right of the minimum. There it is. Okay, is the minimum in between those two arrows? Guess. Yes, please. There's the vertex. What's the minimum point? Minus 7. Okay? You can still check it. I know this is right. On to the next question. Okay? Convert this to standard or vertex form. There's only one way to do this. By completing the square. Okay? And then let's just don't even read the rest. You got to do this. Okay? Answer the question later. Okay. 7 and 10x minus 2x squared. Is that how we want to look at this guy? Or do I want to put that in general form? I want to put that in general form, right? I need to rearrange this. Okay, so I want to put that first, then this second, then that third, right? I want it to be looking like that. That's general form. Okay? It's not 1, it's a 2. I want to factor out that 2, but it's not just positive 2, it's negative 2. Take the negative 2 out. Okay? Out of the first term and the second term, what's the sign got to be here, Jake? Yeah, okay, just double check it in your head. Negative 5x, okay? I factored that out of the first two terms. I still have my plus 7. Let's throw it over there. Okay? Ignore the negative 2. How do I complete the square? I take half of 5 and I add it. I'll just write it out like that. I subtract it, squared. Okay? That's all in the brackets. I still have plus 7. Right? Don't make it 2.5. That's not as helpful, right? We want to leave this as a fraction. Any questions? Okay. Have I? Yep. Because negative 2 times negative 5x is positive 10x. Yeah. It's a good idea. Hey, let's check it. Let's check it. I never did that. Okay. Is this the same as this? Yeah. I just rearranged it. Is this the same as this? Negative 2x squared, check. Negative 2 times negative 5x, positive 10x. Check. Plus 7, plus 7. Is this the same as this? What is plus something minus the same thing? 0. All I'm doing is adding 0 here. Okay? That's the same as this. That's the same as this. That's the same as that. Yes? Why didn't I square that? That's what we have to do in order to complete the square. Didn't I do that already? Okay. That's here. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Because if you got the question, someone else does too. Let's go back here. Okay, I take half of 10. That's 5. I square it, add it, and subtract it. Hello. Hi. She's not in my class. This is Math 11. Yeah, wrong block. Okay, bye. Okay. That's what we do. Here's the flow chart again. Okay? This is what we did yesterday. Add and subtract the squared number in step 1. Take half of it, square it. Okay? To do perfect square. All right. So that's 25 over 4 plus 25 over 4 minus, right? Okay, I want to, out of the first 3, complete the square. I got minus 2. This is x minus, what is this number? There it is. It's 5 over 2. If I expand this and multiply it out, I will get that. Okay? This is 25 over 4, okay, minus, right? But that's still in the brackets. To take it out, I have to multiply that by negative 2, okay? Minus 25 over 4 times negative 2 in order to get it out of the brackets, right? I don't want that in the brackets. I just want these 3 in the brackets. And I still have plus 7. Okay? So I just need to collect this ugly stuff together. This is just one number, and I'm done. Okay, so minus 2, x minus 5 over 2 squared. What is this? You can go, that's positive 50 over 4, or this is a better way of thinking. 2 goes into 4 twice. It's still positive. That's 25 over 2. Okay, plus 7. This is the hardest part. It's the grade 6 stuff. Adding fractions. What do you need to do to add fractions? Common denominator. This is 25 seconds. How many seconds is 7? It's 14 seconds, right? Okay. So I can add them together. I got the same denominator. Minus 2 x minus 5 over 2 squared. 25 and 14. is 39 seconds. Okay? Now, answer the question. Which way does this parabola open? If a is negative, it opens down. Okay, so let's answer it. Down. What are the coordinates of the vertex? Vertex is 5 over 2, 39 over 2. That's in vertex form. That's why we like it. Okay, so fractions are kind of nasty. Let's do another one without a fraction. Okay, last one. Express. Oh, let's really change it up. That's exciting, right? Let's express this. Answer it. Completed square form. And, well, let's just do that and then answer the questions. Okay? I got 3x squared minus 12x minus 8. What's my first step? If you like flow charts, go up and look at it. What do I want to do? I want it to look like yesterday's. I want this coefficient of x squared to be 1. I want to take 3 out of both two terms. X squared minus 4x, I still have minus 8. Okay, that's first step. Second step, pretend that number isn't there. Pretend you just had yesterday's. What would you do? You would take half of 4. Okay, I still have x squared minus 4x. What number do I need here to complete the square? This is the process. Half of 4, 4 over 2 is 2. Square it, add it, and subtract it. That's still all in the brackets, and I still have a minus 8. Okay? That's what you do. There's nothing to figure out there. That's just what you do. Memorize that. Half of this x term, square it, add it, and subtract it. Is this the same as this? Yes, you should check, right? Is this the same as this? Yes, it is. Okay? These first 3 terms, that's a perfect square trinomial. How do you factor that? What does this thing become? Where's my purple? 3, that becomes x minus 2 squared. Okay? Foil it quickly in your head. Make sure this is the same as that. That's x squared, check. Minus 2x, minus 2x, minus 4x. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. This is the same as this. Okay? What do I do with this negative 4? I don't want him in the brackets. He's got to come out. But to do that, I have to multiply it by the 3. Okay? What's negative 4 times 3? Minus 12. I still have my minus 8. So last step, just collect those numbers together. That's minus 20. And that is in vertex form. Okay? Now, determine the zeros. Okay. Could I do that on my calculator? Yeah, but that would be cheating. What's another word for a 0? X-intercept. What's another word for an x-intercept? A root. Okay. How do I do that? I'm still getting this question. At the x-intercept, what do I know? Y is 0. Okay. Always, always, always. Substitute. Y is 0. Right there. 0 is 3x minus 2 squared minus 20. How do I solve that? Add 20 to both sides. That's a good place to start. Okay. 20 is 3x minus 2 squared. What's my next step? Get rid of the 3. Okay. Do I want to make this a decimal? Determine the zeros. Here it says to the nearest hundredth, but let's pretend it said as an exact answer, because that's better practice. Because everybody wants to put 20 over 3 in a calculator, right? Let's do it last. Okay, 20 over 3 is this thing squared. How do I get rid of the square? Yeah, right? Would that be better than multiplying this out and having an x squared minus 4x plus 4 and then trying to figure out now what do I do? Get rid of the square. Square root. Square root. But when you square root something, what do you got to do? There's two values there, okay? X minus 2 is plus or minus root whatever 20 over 3 is, okay? 6 point something. Got one more thing, and then I know what x is. What do I got to do? Add 2, okay? So x is 2 plus or minus 6 point something. Okay? Those are my two zeros. That's my two roots. Again, if I didn't take a plus or minus, I'm only going to have one root. And if you graph it, you'll see this thing does cross the x-intercept. Well, let's do that. In two spots. On. There we go. Okay. 3x squared. Already got that. Got a minus. Let's make that a 12. And then minus 8, not 80. Is it possible for a quadratic to have 1 0? It is. You know your bread and butter, y equals x squared? Just the top of my head. You might get this in a question. It looks pretty fat, but let's call that y is x squared. Does it cross the x-axis? It doesn't necessarily cross it, but there is 1 0. It's at 0. Okay? It's called a double root because there has to be 2 for a quadratic. It's a matter of debate, but it does have 1 0. Okay? So it is possible to have 1. It's possible to have none. This one has 2 zeros. If you don't do the plus or minus, you're not going to find the other 0. It crosses here and it crosses there. What's the value of y in both cases? 0. That's how we solve this, right? Okay? So that's what this is. That's two different roots. It does say find to the nearest hundredth. One of them is that. The other one is that. One's plus, one's minus. This is going to be really helpful for tomorrow when we're doing quadratic formula. Meryl, have you done that before? Quadratic formula? Does this look familiar? Yeah, in other countries they do that in grade 10. I had my Brazilian girls up at Sahali and they already done this. And I was like, what? You did quadratic formula in grade 10? But they didn't say quadratic formula. They said quadratic formula in Brazilian. Okay, anyway, what is this as a number? 2 plus the square root of bracket 20 divided by 3. Make sure you close that bracket. Garbage in, garbage out. I don't want the square root of 20 divided by 3. I want the square root of 20 divided by 3. Okay, there's a difference. Okay, that's 4.58. Oh, darn it. Okay, so 4.58 to the hundredths, that's what it is. What's the other one? 2 minus the square root of 20 divided by 3. Negative 5.8. Okay? Those are your two zeros. Does it look about right? If I use my calculator and calculate those zeros, 1, 2, 3, it looks like about 4.5. Check. Not quite negative 1. Check. Okay? You can check it, but you can't cheat. If it asks you to do this, guys, you got to do it. Okay? So, number 5, just A to E. Yeah, it's 5. That's enough. 7, 9, and 10.